Running loads, I was never late. I was running. Somehow I just never got a check over $1,000, bro. Never got over $1,000.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Trucker 219. We are starting our three-part series on a deep dive into night transportation services. So let's go ahead and dive right into this first part, which is the online research. Let's go. For starters, we're going to go ahead and click on their website and see what they got going on here. Let's click this drive with night. Okay, so they got a bunch of job openings here. We got a El Paso, Texas, 81 cents per mile split. What does that mean? It means you will be running team. So what does 81 cents per mile mean? It means the truck is making 81 cents per mile. So every mile the truck drives, it makes 81 cents. Now that money is split between you and the other driver. So they require 6 months of over-the-road experience for that. Home monthly, that's not terribly much home time. And it says earn up to $210,000 per team. Okay, so the entire team is making 210. So basically the truck is making 210,000 miles, not you individually. A little bit of deceptive advertisement there. Let's see what else we got. A bunch of team stuff. They're really pushing for this team. All right, here we go. So we got a regional truck driver, Omaha, Nebraska, 45 to 63 cents per mile with 6 months of over-the-road experience. 6 days out, 2 days home. Okay, so basically you're running for almost a week and then you get the weekend home. And it's going to rotate around that week schedule, so you're not going to be exactly home on the weekend. So looking at this, let's go ahead and do the math. A regional, it sounds for Nebraska, you should be able to get a good 2,000 miles per week off of that. So let's go ahead and do some math here to figure out what that would be. Okay, so this is probably based off of experience. If you have that 6 month, you're probably at the 45. If you have probably 2-3 years of experience, they'll probably put you at that 63, which is actually really good, but the chances of them actually handing that out is probably pretty slim. So let's go ahead and do the math on it regardless. You're at 45 cents per mile times about 2,000 miles per week. I would think would be fair for a Northwest job and it being a regional job. So you're working for 6 days. That's going to net you $900 for the week. So that's at the bottom line here of the 45 cents per mile. So that is also before taxes. So you got to figure out how much your taxes are in that area and then figure out, you know, as far as how much you're actually going to bring home. So not a ton of money. It would be good for somebody with 6 months experience, but any more than that, you should probably be making some more. We'll go down the middle here and do 55 cents per mile for somebody with a year or two experience. We'll multiply that by 2,000 miles per week. And it pumps out $1,100. So a little bit more money for the week. You'll probably walk away with about $900 after taxes is done. Realistically, you could be over the road making more money or doing a local job where you're making hourly or something like that and do a little bit better than that. On this one, we're at about $1,260 a week, coming to you before taxes at 63 cents per mile on a regional job, which makes around 2,000 miles a week. So after taxes, you could probably walk away with probably about $1,000 for the week. So if they do give you the top pay, it's really not bad at all. That's actually a pretty good paycheck for the week for somebody that's, you know, out for a week, home for the weekend, out for a week, home for the weekend. All right, let's see if we can find one that's an actual over-the-road truck driver. Okay, so here's another deceptive advertising that I don't like. We're talking about a dedicated regional CDLA out of Ohio. Home weekly, they want 6 months of experience. It seems like everything they do, they want 6 months of experience. And then it shows how much you're going to make. And a lot of people will just see these first two little bit here. $100,000 a year, that sounds fantastic on average. Okay, so that's where you got to figure that in. All right, so based on looking at their website, I don't like some of the deceptive advertisement, but it's pretty standard in this industry. That's why you got to do your research to find out what's real and what isn't. And realistically, you won't know unless you are an experienced truck driver. So I'm glad you clicked on my channel to check it out and get my experience to know that you're not going to be making as much as what you think you would be making based off of these advertisements. All right, so I found this video online for night transportation, talking to a couple of their best trainers. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see what they got to say and see if this helps our research out at all. Okay, so we got Israel and Joshua Bland, trainers.
I put him through the ringer, but I also, you know, I knew where I wanted to take him here at night. And if I didn't put him through the ringer, he wouldn't be able to stand up beside me and be proud to be one of the top trainers for the company. And he's not the only one that I put through the ringer.
Okay, so it sounds like this guy is a trainer and he's been a trainer longer and trained the other guy, and now the other guy is now a trainer.
Like that. There's a couple other students that I put through the ringer because I seen the potential they had and they needed more.
Well, if you want to be the best, you got to be trained by the best.
I started off with a different company, and it happens to too many new drivers. You get stepped into a new company, you don't know anything about the, trucking industry, and they lie to you, and they keep you there because you don't know any better. Well, eventually I found out better, and I came here. When I was working over there, I felt like I had a gun to my head. I couldn't make a move without somebody demanding me and forcing me to do
Fair enough.
I didn't want to do. And then I came over here, and man, it's like family. Even my dispatch, he calls me and he asked me, hey, would you like to do this or would you rather do this? And I say, hey man, I need to get home. He said, absolutely, let me get on that. And it's not a front. It's everybody from the terminal.
Okay, so just to be clear, this is a video from Night Transportation. So of course they're only going to put out what's best to look for their company. I was kind of more interested to see what their training thing looks like.
All the way to the corporate level. Anybody I've ever come in contact with in this company, they're ready to reach out and they're ready to help you build your career. With my resume, I could work for any company in the U.S. without a problem. They would be rolling the red carpet out. And I choose here because they treat me good. They treat me like family.
I wanted to be a rock star, so I played music, guitar, and sang. I bombed and crashed at it. And Israel, he begged me for years to be a truck driver. Kept begging me. So I finally gave in and did it. And he trained me. We actually teamed for a little while. And I worked for some other companies. It's nothing like Knight. Knight has an amazing open door policy. The other companies I work for is a lot of failed promises. You may make more cents per mile, but you're not gonna get the miles that Knight gives you. He kept calling me. He said, man, I'm a trainer. He said, you can be a trainer. And he said, I promise you, you'll be successful. What he said was, I'll give you the keys to the kingdom. I said, all right, I'll come back. And they made me a trainer. It's been an amazing experience. And it's awesome being able to help.
Okay, so the thing with being a trainer, it's definitely a needed thing, but if your goal is to be a trainer, and you might have the personality for it, you may be good at teaching people things, but what I found in a lot of companies is they throw brand new drivers that don't have much experience into the training role, just because it's a little bit more money to be a trainer. But you also got to think that you guys got new people coming in and out of your home all the time, and you don't know their hygiene, you don't know how well of a driver they are, you don't know their personality type. So you got to be able to figure out their personality and connect with them on a different level. So that's the issue with being a trainer that I see. Let's carry on.
Succeed in their career is amazing. I was telling them a good leader trains leaders to trains leaders and be successful. And he trained me, and then I got to train somebody who's becoming a trainer. That's the whole goal, is keep creating that. Man, when they test out and pass, man, that give me a rush. It's almost like jumping out of an airplane, parachuting or something, man, that adrenaline rush. When my first student passed, I called him up, I was shaking, I was like, man, it was amazing.
You think that's fun?
Yeah.
Wait till you get a student that calls you and said, hey man, I got my first million. Hey man, I just started a trucking company, I got 4 trucks. Wait till that starts happening.
Yeah, that is very cool. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, coming from trainers, that's definitely a cool thing to be able to see somebody grow from nothing to being a successful driver. I don't doubt that that's cool. But again, this was published by Night Transportation itself. So of course, they're not going to say anything bad about the company. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other different information that we can find and see what we think about the company based off some more online research. We're looking at Night Transportation's Google page here. Overall, they got a 3.4 stars out of 147 Google reviews. Now, this is the Atlanta location. So we're going to take a look at some of these reviews here and see what people got to say. 3.4 stars is not very good for a company. So we got a 3-star that says no gym. They're talking about the terminal there. 5 stars, please fix or replace the washers and dryers. So their terminal does have some issues, it looks like. This one's a 4-star from this guy. 5 months ago is when this one was written. I often leave reviews on bag trucking companies to let new and old drivers know who to avoid. Been trucking 20 years and can tell you about who's really bad. I just decided to look up night. I think I was there 4 to 7 months. I had none of the problems these one-star people are talking about. From day one after orientation, I got a new truck. All of my dispatchers, managers were polite and very professional, probably because I presented myself to them the same way. You get what you give. Okay, so a 4-star review, you know, he's happy with it. Not really a whole lot of complaints. 1-star review here 6 months ago. They will lie to get you to violate your hours of service and have the worst attitudes you will ever deal with. Had another review here saying the same, but it disappeared. Too bad, I'll keep reposting it. So I went ahead and went over here to the headquarters location to see if I could see any reviews from there. 5 stars for Top Gun Academy and Mr. Lovey. I don't know what that means. Okay, we got a bunch of 5 stars here. So I recently completed my training at Night Transportation in Phoenix, Arizona, and I can't express how incredible my experience was. Okay, so this is from somebody who just completed their training, which is good to hear from, especially for newer drivers. Everyone was so helpful and encouraging throughout the process. Brandy and Ivy were always there to support me, never let me give up on myself. They were incredibly encouraging and helpful. Mike was super funny and knowledgeable with a wealth of experience. He taught me so much. Okay, so it's just going through and talking about the specific people and how good they are. And last but definitely not least, Mr. Top Gun Lovey was super helpful. He came in earlier so I could practice my maneuvers, and I'll always remember and appreciate him for that. I'm so happy and grateful that I chose night trucking. Everyone I encountered was helpful and super supportive. I highly recommend anybody looking to get their CDL to come to this school. Okay, so this might be just a school, and that's what that other comment was. I guess there's a guy named Top Gun Lovey. Okay, so this person left a 2-star review. It's basically talking about the quality of the terminal itself. It says, I'd rather stay at a rest area on the side of the interstate than stay here at HQ. Staff here, especially the people in the guard shack, are insanely disrespectful and rude. Must just be how people are out here in the West. So kind of a mixed bag on the reviews here, some good, some bad. We always got to take into consideration that some people get pissed off at companies just based off of the way they had their experience, and it's not always perfect information coming from reviews. It's ideally helpful to talk to a driver. When you can't get in contact with a driver, there's always plenty of resources here on YouTube that you could check out. There's plenty of other drivers sharing their experience, so we're going to go ahead and do that right now. This one is called Night Transportation Paycheck Review, and it is by a guy named Puremirr, Puremirr. So go check out his video. I'll leave a link down in the description below, actually, so you can check out his video and watch it yourself. Let's see what he's got to say about his experience at Night Transportation.
Supposed to get 56 cents per mile. I ended up getting 48 cents a mile.
Okay, so he said that he was supposed to get 56 cents per mile, but he was only getting 48. So the recruitment obviously didn't tell him the truth on what he was supposed to get, or there was another mix up there.
Running the loads, I was never late. I was running. Somehow I just never got a check over $1,000, bro. Never got over $1,000.
Okay, so never getting a check over $1,000 if he's running really hard at 48 cents per mile. So let's go ahead and do some math on that. If he said he was running 48 cents per mile, and he is at he said he was running. So let's call it 2,500 miles for the week. That's $1,200. If you subtract taxes, that should be about what it's at. Now, if he went through their CDL school program, that might be a different factor to where they're repaying that back if he's got student loans, things like that. So that could bring that below $1,000.
Texas week, I was running at least over 2,300, 2,500 miles a week, and my check still wasn't hitting like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Night Transportation is not a horrible company, but you know, because they have a lot of terminals in the U.S. So I like that they had a lot of terminals in the U.S. Communication was good.
Okay, so he's happy about that there's a lot of communication and a lot of terminals to go to. That's definitely a perk for some people. He is upset about how much money he was making over there, 48 cents per mile. It's not fantastic, but if he's only got 6 months experience, realistically, it's not terrible at all. The more experience you get, the better off you'll do. So based off of just the online research we've just done, I'd give it a C. Everything looks to be somewhat on the up and up. There's some complaints about pay and some reviews that are not looking very pretty. However, the more information that you have available to you, the better off you'll be. Be on the lookout for part 2, and we're going to call Knight's recruiting department and see what they have to say.
Please leave a detailed message, including your first and last name, and the best number so we can return your call. We will get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you and have a good day.